here that, by the way, I'm not going to give you an account for. How dare you ask me what I'm going to do with this money, even though you might have put different options out there for me to invest. And one of the things I like to talk about is reinvesting in the men and women that invest in the ministry. There's no reciprocity there. And the law of sowing and reaping somehow seems to not fall on those people's shoulders.
Would it be a sin if when we collect this money, most often for building funds that in my eye almost never go away even after you just finish building the last structure, is there anything wrong with saving some of that money and giving a promise to our young children? If you become a carpenter, then you will carpent my next church.
Yes, sir.
If you become a brick mason, then you will be the brick mason for our next church. Would that not create some sort of pride in our youngsters and make them want to go do something with their lives, because down at the end of that tunnel they can see purpose?
Yes, sir. I think it's a great question. I think that what I want to say also is that I kind of alluded to that again in my book when I talked about how churches are not productive as it relates to the use of our time, our resources. It's funny you mentioned the church building fund. I have a whole chapter dedicated to that in my book, and I talk about this. If you have an individual that's chasing this carrot, this is the carrot that these pastors hang out in front of us. You know, it doesn't make sense if you've got an average community of people where you have let's say a man making $35,000 a year, and he's putting over $1,200 net into this church every month. You know, he's getting whacked at church. Doc, I just got to say it. He's getting whacked because something has to go. You know, either his Cardinals got to go, mama's hairdo's got to go, something's got to give. And they're made to feel guilty. You know, there also, when these church buildings funds are coming up, there's no open opportunity for people to bid. Inside the church congregation, I'm sure there are contractors and independent contractors and lawyers and electricians that never have an opportunity. You know, the church I was a member of, there was never an opportunity for the bid process. That's a democratic process. That has nothing to do with faith. If you put an opportunity out there, you have to give an open opportunity for people to, you know, have access. And church members should, if they're tithing into this particular ministry, have the first chance to get opportunities for those bids, and that's just not happening.
I think we're about to run out of time.